mentioned there the game in Twickenham in the autumn. That was a pretty tense affair for all concerned. I imagine a lot more so for you than it was for us who were sitting and watching. What were your kind of key takeaways from that game, thinking about facing France again?
Yeah, I think for us it was a lot about our performance, so the consistency of that, looking at our set piece, that's going to be massive as a forward in terms of dominating at set piece, the scrum, the line out, but also as well for us, defensively, we've got to go and meet them fire with fire, and I think it came right down to the wire. Hopefully we don't get to that, but I think it was a really good learning point for us in terms of how we manage those last few minutes of the game, but also knowing that we have to go out and we have to start well. We have to have a good first half. So I think that's really important.
And in terms of the setup of this year's Six Nations, obviously you'd love to be facing every team, but having a week off before France, has that given you a bit of time to reset and refocus?
Yeah, I mean, we had a training camp last week, and we had a really tough couple of days, like a really solid training session that I think has put us in really good stead going into this week. I think it's always appreciated to have a little bit of a break at home, a little bit of R&R, rest and recovery, but I think we're all set and ready to go. Like I said, really tough training session last Friday, weekend to sort of regather ourselves, and then straight back into this training week to put us on the best foot forward going into this game at the weekend. Perfect.
Thanks very much. Just wondering, Rachel touched on the diversity and inclusion setup that the RFU have put in place. Obviously, Giselle is vice chair of that, and you know her very well. So, what do you think she'll bring to that group?
I mean, yeah, they're working across a lot of targets, and I think especially in sort of the growing the women's game, that's something that Giselle's really passionate about. And I think she's going to really drive that forward in terms of meeting those targets of increasing not just players, but the number of referees and the number of women that are representing across different levels of the game. So I think she'll be really good at driving that, and she really values rugby, and she thinks it's really important that everybody has access to rugby. So I'm really looking forward to the ideas that they come up with and the structures they put in place to keep improving the accessibility of rugby.
Absolutely. And in terms of more pressing matters for yourself, talked a lot about Sansus and Bourdon. How do you kind of go about preparing for those two? They're both excellent, but they bring very different kind of approaches to that France team. So, what are your kind of key thoughts about the two of them and facing off against them?
Yeah, the pair of them are very good. As I said previously, they like to play a quick game and they like to quick tap. But it's also their ability to bring the rest of their squad onto the pitch. They're both really good distributors. They like to bring their forwards to the line. So whilst they're very threatening, that have got lots of threats across the whole squad. So for us, it's just going to be about the physicality, meeting them up front, challenging them when they've got ball in hand, and then hopefully controlling the game when we've got possession.